Hey, my loves, I hope you're good. I also hope you can hear me. We're having a really big thunderstorm here at the moment, and so there's a lot of rain going on. But I'm here to bring you your cosmic weather report for the week ahead. We've got a lot of sun energy this week. It's all about the sun this week. Now, the sun is the center of who we are. It represents yourself. It represents how you're here to shine. It represents your ego and your soul purpose. It's your personality. It's your individual self. And so on Tuesday, the sun is going to be opposite Neptune. Now, especially after that Virgo new moon and Mercury stationing direct, Tuesday is going to be a really beautiful day to be able to find clarity, deeper awareness, answers. It's going to help you to really connect to that soul self part of you, the part of you who's anchored into deep trust, deep knowing, the part of you that knows your purpose, that knows the way forwards, that knows how you're here to shine. And so Tuesday is going to be a really beautiful day to begin to find that greater clarity, especially if things have felt really foggy for you and really uncertain. This is going to bring you back to a sense of self, because remember, everything in your life begins with you. So Tuesday is a really beautiful day to get back in touch with yourself. This is a theme that's going to continue the whole way through the week, and so this is the real starting point of it. Now on Thursday, the sun is going to trine Pluto. Now Pluto is the planet of death, rebirth and transformation. And especially after everything we've been moving through, and still with a lot of these planets in retrograde, this is going to help us to bring the unknown to known, to help us to bring things up from the shadows, to help us to allow parts of us to die away in order for there to be a rebirth into more of who we are. And so Thursday is going to give us this real sense of purpose, of empowerment, of really being able to connect to your inner power, the real deep inner knowing of who you are, and to really begin to take action towards more of your purpose. So especially if you sit with yourself on Tuesday and find that clarity, that wisdom coming in, Thursday then is a day to begin to take action towards more of what you want and who you are. And this is really important because then on Friday, we get the first quarter moon in Sagittarius. Now, this is the second first quarter moon in Sagittarius in a row. The moon in Sagittarius is all about ambition, moving forwards, wanderlust, following a new adventure, again a real sense of self and a sense of exploration of self, really beginning to discover and know who we are. So that energy is going to really push us forwards through the end of the week to start to make some moves in our life. And then on Saturday, we get the sun moving into Libra and we get the autumn equinox. So this is a turning point on the wheel of the year when we move into autumn. Now, first of all, the sun in Libra is going to ask us to come back into a sense of balance, to begin to draw energy inwards and to begin to find a real inner peace and harmony. Libra is also big on relationships, so it's going to give us the opportunity to really look at the relationships in our lives, again, especially after what we've been moving through over the past weeks and months, and to really look at relationship with self. And this feeds into the autumn equinox. The autumn equinox invites us to begin to slow down, to begin to turn inwards. It's where now we move from the outward facing portion of the year to that inner facing. We begin to turn back to our inner worlds and back to ourselves after the busyness of summer. And it really invites us to begin to gather in our harvest. So what do you have to be grateful for? What have you created over the years so far? What's really worked well for you? We start to gather our harvest here of everything that's going to sustain us through the autumn and winter months. And we begin to, just as nature's doing all around us, start to shed, release and let go. What do I not want to take into these darker and colder months with me? What am I going to really work on letting go of now? And this is going to take us into the weekend being a really powerful turning point to do this, because we have a lot of Chiron energy over the weekend. Now, Chiron is what's known as the wounded healer. Chiron shows us the wounding that we bring into this lifetime with us in order to learn, to grow from, to overcome. It's where we really find purpose in pain. Now, on Saturday, On the day the sun moves into Libra and we get the autumn equinox, Venus is going to meet Chiron. And so this is going to bring us this really beautiful opportunity on the day that the seasons begin to turn, to move into a new season of our own. It's going to help us to really be able to see the lessons that Venus retrograde was showing us, how we've grown, what we've learned. And it's also going to really give us a beautiful opportunity to look at relationships, how we've healed, and what we want to start to let go of now with this shedding invite from the autumn equinox. Sunday, Mars is going to meet Chiron. And so this is going to give us a beautiful opportunity to reflect and review and look at what that Venus retrograde showed us, where we've done the healing, where we found perhaps a deeper sense of self, where we now know our values, we know what we want, need, and desire. And then Mars is going to say, okay, so start to now move forwards with that. And in order to move forwards into more of who you are and more of what you want, what do you need to shed, release, and leave behind in order to make that happen? What versions of you do you need to let go of? What things in your life do you need to let go of? And so this week is a really beautiful invite to find a much deeper sense of self, to find a much deeper inner wisdom, clarity, power, to come back to yourself, to find inner peace and harmony and balance. And then from that, be able to really see where you are now, what you've healed through, what you've gone through, what you've grown through, what you've experienced. Gather that harvest. What am I gathering? What am I really grateful for? And then on this turning point now, what am I leaving behind so that I can now go into autumn, turn more in towards myself, become more of who I'm here to be? Remember that sun energy is about how you're here to shine, and spend a lot more time now in my inner world. And so this week is such a beautiful invite to turn back to yourself, to come back to yourself. And from that, begin to find a much deeper sense of self. Remember, Libra is all about relationships. Venus meeting Chiron over the weekend or next weekend, all about relationships. So what's that relationship with yourself? How can we come back into deeper presence and relationship with ourselves as we move now into these kind of quieter and more inward focused parts of the year? And so a beautiful week, a big week, but a really beautiful week to just know yourself, care for yourself, trust yourself, and love yourself that little bit more. I really hope, as always, this has helped. Let me know if there's anything else that I can do to support you at this time. I'm in London on Saturday, teaching a workshop about the equinox if you're around London. And then we are also going to gather together on Thursday night to work with a goddess. We're going to work with Persephone to really help us to make that transition into the autumn, to begin to really go inwards into our inner worlds. And there's also going to be an autumn ritual pack if you really want to mark this turning point and to turn back towards yourself. So as always, thank you so much for being here. Thank you so much for being part of this community, and I will see you all really soon.